What's up everybody, my name is Tonny and I'm here with another Warframe guide video. In this video we will be looking at the possible abilities your Excalibur can use. It could be Umbra, it could be Prime, doesn't matter as long as the abilities are different. So when it comes to the ability I have, it's War, and the reason why is because of the damage increase, and the damage is a flat out faction damage, not regular damage, okay? So keep in mind about that. When it comes to the build on this, both the Umbra and the Blade here, or the Warframe and Blade, my old video has the old mod configuration, so there is a link in the description if you guys if you guys are interested in the builds that I have there, the old one. However, for this one I did modify my mods to fit War, as well as make War work with the current setup I have here. So let's take a look at the Warframe's appearance before we get into the build. I got the Center Helmet, Skin, Titania, Nova, and Animation sets here with the Umbra set. Armor, got the mirror right there, Dax, and Katir Sakara. Alright, let's go straight into the build. So when it comes to the build, obviously this is the pretty much you stuck with the Umbra mods, that's for sure. So with this, I did have Steel Charge in my old video. I swapped it out for Growing Power because of War. With Engine Conversion, I swapped Continuity for Engine Conversion. Everything else looks like it's kept in. Arcane Strike, yeah, just kept it in. Arcane Fury, kept it in. So when it comes to this build, I think this is max damage right here. Yep. So max damage. Then you have two other builds here. Again, you guys can look at the old video. No link in the description to get more in depth of that. Same thing with the Umbra Blade. Now, when it comes to the ability strength on this, the status chance at 839. That's not bad. I mean, that's like basically 140 or something like that, or 150. I think 140. And then War is at 84%. If I put in oh wait, my bad. So if I put in all the Growing Power and Engine Conversion, I basically get 107 damage increase. For Exalted Blade, I'm not really sure, but it's around 190. And 190% status chance, there's a chance you do both Heat and Corrosive. So in my old video, I have Voltic Strike with Volcanic Edge. This time I have Heat, so I get that Armor Strip. So I do around 6.8k total. Now with this video, with this build, if you guys think that Umbra is a little bit too weak, you guys can always use this. And again, you guys can use the War ability and all the other abilities I'm going to tell you guys about, and all three of these builds for Warframe and for the Umbra Blade. For the Focus Tree, Modera is my go-to, but if you guys are worried about energy, Xeneric would be a good fit here. If you guys want to get that duration or common duration up and running, Naramon for the, I think the Power Spike or something like that. Not sure which one. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's the one with the decaying of the combo duration thing. So I'm gonna show you guys the gameplay demo for this now, and I will also explain during the gameplay demo the results of War, how I used it, and then I'll talk about the possible abilities you guys can use for your Excalibur. Some will be pretty dumb, some will be pretty nice. So here is the demo. So with Rhino's War, instead of starting with 50% of the damage, you basically get around 30. So with that, with the combined ability strength of 355, the max you get is 107 on damage and not 177. So when it comes to that, it's at least decent enough. It's pretty close to a Primed Bane Infested mod or Prime Bane Grenier mod, whatever you want to call it. The faction mods, I would say. Well, what about the other abilities though? Well, let's take a good look at Valkyr's Warcry, which I think is the second best on Excalibur. And the reason why is this: you get the attack speed and you get the armor bonus. Now the amount you get also depends on the diminished or reduced percentage. So we start off at 30% when we get Valkyrie. This is unmodded value, guys. So 30%, and if you mod it at 355 ability strength, let's say you have that, you should get 177, exactly the same as my War, but with the diminish on the attack speed, you get 107 instead. So basically your attack speed would be 107% and the armor would be 107%. So with 355 ability strength, you get 107 on attack speed and armor buff, 75% movement speed reduction if you got the radius. Obviously depends on the build of your Excalibur. If you got radius, movement speed gets reduced at 75%. That's a cap. And with the range, duration, and energy, it depends on your Excalibur. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to show it here, but I think this will be a good second ability for Excalibur. Just for the attack speed itself, which is 107, and armor buff at 107, it's pretty good. I would say it's pretty decent enough to be able to do a crap load of tankiness and attack speed, of course. Now, let's look at the third best ability for Excalibur, which is Mirage Eclipse. When it comes to Mirage Eclipse, you got to know that it also has a damage increase reduced to 150% and damage reduction capped at 75%. So with 355 ability strength, you will always maintain that maximum damage reduction at 75%, which is capped. And for the maximum damage bonus, well, originally it should be 710%, but now it's going to be down to somewhere around, I would say 600 to 500. I would say around there. 600 to 500 will be around there, I think. So with 355 ability strength, the maximum damage reduction will be at 75% capped already. You already reached the amount already. And the maximum damage bonus, originally it would be 710, but it should be a lot less. I would say around 600% if I do the math, maybe less. But I think what matters the most would be the damage reduction. I think that's what makes the Eclipse shine more than the maximum damage, because obviously you have to be in the daylight or night light or during the dark areas, I guess, for that. So next Warframe I think that has a pretty good ability for Excalibur would be the Sarin. Sarin's molt, or the augment actually, is what makes it shine. So the augment's regenerative molt gives you that really nice health regen when it's deployed. So at 355 strength, you get 178 health regen on the regenerative molt. Forget radius, forget duration. You get 178 health regen. That's straight up close to Arcane Grace or something like that, I would say. That's pretty nice. So if you guys are having trouble with survivability, regenerative molt is a nice alternative for Excalibur. The next Warframe I believe is pretty nice is Wukong's Defy on Excalibur. Again, if you have problems surviving, Defy will help, but just keep in mind that the armor cap is at 750. However, when it comes to duration and ability strength, my build already sets it up for that already. Just take a few hits and you already reached the max cap of armor already. Just the duration will be a little bit longer than the base without mods, obviously. So this is a nice alternative for people that wants to survive a little bit. Finally, the last Warframe that just had a redo on its Well of Life or Pool of Life augments, and that is Trinity. So with the Pool of Life augments, if you guys have this on your Excalibur, basically what happens is on death, marked enemies will drop 4 health orbs with a 25% chance of dropping an energy orb. So if you guys don't have Arcane Energize, Pool of Life will help you there. If you guys are having trouble surviving, the 4 health orbs will help you there. The only downside to this is that you have no radius on my very first build. But if you guys use this ability on my second or third ability, which has a decent amount of radius, this might heal your teammates as well as heal you as well. And with this, I think this might make your Excalibur pretty strong and be able to be tanky, be able to survive. So I think this is an okay alternative for those that want to heal. But when it comes to Excalibur overall, you guys, Excalibur is made for killing. He's not made for supporting teammates, obviously. Even if you want to, I'm afraid you just can't, because it's Excalibur, for crying out loud. He kills. And with that, Exalted Blade is his #1 go-to as Excalibur. When it comes to replacing the abilities for your Excalibur, I recommend replacing your third, because, well, no radius, right? Your first ability you guys can replace, but keep in mind that you guys can use your first ability to go into invulnerability stage or whatever for like 1 second or 2. That way you could like dodge attacks or block attacks. It's like, I hope you guys understand what I mean, but like you basically don't take damage within that 1 second when you use that first ability. Second ability, of course, you might want to use that for the blind for extra damage if you guys are going to be using that. But of course, you guys can't use my first or second ability on the first build of my Warframe. But on the second and third build, you guys can. I know I'm pretty sure I did miss out on a few other great abilities out there, but I only list the ones that stands out to me that works well with Excalibur. So when it comes to like abilities like, let's say, Mind Control or Inaro's Desiccation, you know what? When it comes to having minions, Excalibur doesn't need that shit. He's a god already. He's a king already. He's the boss already. All he needs is just damage and being able to survive. So stuff like Garuda's Blood Altar might be okay, but it's kind of weird a little bit. And let's say stuff like Fire Blast for the Healing Flames, a little bit weird. I mean, it works, but it's kind of weird. No radius. If you have no radius, then straight up you're not gonna get the heals. but it's okay. I would say it's okay, but there's better abilities out there. Chroma's Elemental Ward for HP. I would say it's alright. I mean, more HP is really good, but I mean, come on, that's kind of a waste of an ability slot. Banshee's Silence. It's pretty nice for Excalibur. As long as you have a good radius, you move around. With finisher damage with your Skejati, straight up, you'll be invisible the entire time. But that's just a different playstyle. So my playstyle is straight up using my guns, not really much my melee that much, but using my guns because it's fun, and using Exalted Blade when I need to. But then again, hopefully again this video helps you guys a little bit on Excalibur, on making a hybrid, or give you some ideas on it. If you guys like this video, give it a like, subscribe to support my channel. Until next time, you guys, peace out.